Well, hey friends, I am standing here in front of this place we haven't seen called Mercy Hill Community Church, and wanted to give you an update on what our plan was in terms of kind of the timing of the reopening and all of that. And I just thought it would be fun for you to be able to physically see that the building is still here. Our church is still standing. So let's walk in the door together here for a minute, and we can talk about the timing we're gonna have as we all get to come through this door before too long. So it's looking pretty good. I think the space is clean. It's ready for folks, and I'm sure you're ready to be back here with your friends. So I just wanted to talk for a minute as to kind of why we're timing things the way that we are. So the first thing to say is just what is the timing? Adam's been putting this out over the past several weeks. You've probably heard it. But starting next Sunday, we're going to be broadcasting from here. Okay, so we're going to be working towards a live stream from the building over the next 3 weeks. Those are the final 3 Sundays in June. We have a lot of technical hurdles we need to get over. And so that's really what the purpose of those 3 weeks is. Assuming that we stick to that schedule, and it might have to adjust a little bit if we're having some technical problems, but assuming we do, then we're hoping to have the congregation in here in early July, perhaps as early as the first Sunday, perhaps, second or third Sunday. We'll just have to see how the technical issues go. As you can see right now, perhaps over my shoulder, you might be able to see all the way up at the pulpit. There's a yellow scaffolding set up right in front of the pulpit, which works really well for mounting cameras on and all of that, but will not work really well once there's people here and participating in the service from here. So we've got some things that still need to get done. So that's the timing. But I wanted to share with you a little bit of why. Why has the timing been what it is? And this is a bit of a kind of values discussion, I guess. So just so you know how the elders have been thinking through and continue to think through this decision. And so in terms of values, one of the things we've wanted to do is to respectfully obey the government, right? And up to very recently, that has meant not meeting in person in the facility. But as you know, that's no longer a problem. The government allows us to meet. And in fact, you may or may not know, Virginia just went into what they call phase 2 of their reopening plan, which even allows for a little bit bigger of gatherings. So we feel like that check mark has been done. We've checked that box. The other thing we want to do, and it's obvious to us, but I think it's worth sharing, is we want to do this safely, right? We want to do this well. We want folks to be able to come to church and to minimize risk. Obviously, there's risk every time people are together in this COVID season. But we want to make sure we're doing what we can to minimize that risk so that the church who feels comfortable to gather can gather and do so in a safe way. The third kind of value piece is probably the one that's driven the timing the most, and that's this. We want to do whatever we do, we want to do together as a church. Churches should be, our church, I want our church to be a place where the most vulnerable are most safe, right? So I don't want us to start having services and basically just leave a bunch of people behind who can't come because they're sick, or can't come because they're vulnerable, or can't come because they don't feel comfortable yet, right? Whatever we do, we want to be able to do all together as a church community. And I think this is the heart of the gospel, right? That those who are healthy or well lean towards and even sacrifice some of our preferences or rights for the sake of those who are not as healthy or not as able to meet. So what that means is we want to start gathering soon, and we want to create a service where everyone can participate. And what I mean by that is that if you want to be here, that you can be here, and if you want to participate from home, that you can do that from home. All right. Now, obviously, perhaps at the beginning, maybe not everybody who wants to be here can, because of the size limitations on how many people can come back. But we want to be able to make it so you can still participate from home. So that's been a big driver for us. And so just so you know, that particular piece has completely dictated the timeline. Because in order for us to create a situation where everybody can participate from home while doing this here, we've had to really upgrade our live streaming technical capabilities. As you know, we never live streamed before COVID. I don't know if you're aware, but my sermon is recorded every week on my own iPhone in my house. And, that's low tech, right? I mean, as easy tech, we all, had our cell phones and we can do that. But to do it here requires cameras, requires a computer, which requires internet access from here, sound mixing capabilities to get it out online. You can imagine, right? So there's hardware, there's software issues. And I want you to know that our tech team has been working on these. And in fact, next week, we're going to get an update from them. So Sean's kind of been pastorally leading the charge, but there's been a couple other guys who've just done a wonderful job helping us figure out what we need, source what we need to buy. And the reason this has dictated the timeline is because, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a long time when it was hard to buy toilet paper, right? So you can imagine if it was hard to buy toilet paper, it is also hard to buy things to get churches online because every church in America is trying to get online right now. And so the supply chain for the kinds of things we need has been very, very much behind. So right now, the stuff we need is actually arriving, which is why right now is when we're starting to implement okay, well then let's get in there and start working on our live stream capability. So that's why we've had to wait until the month of June, because we're committed to live streaming our services. Not just having something where some people can show up and others can't participate. And so that's made us wait. And I know that's been hard on a lot of folks. And if that's you, I understand. I understand. We want to gather too. But we're almost there, friends. We're almost there. The stuff is arriving right now. Our tech team's been doing a great job. So next week, you're going to get an update from the tech team. The other thing that we've had to do, we want to do this safely, right? And so we have you might call COVID team. And they're working on understanding the regulations that we're still under, understanding the best practices that the state government, that the CDC, other places are recommending. And they are working on giving advice to the eldership on what practices we need to have in place. Answering questions like if we need to wear masks in church and for how long and who needs to wear masks and how are we going to rope off the seats behind us so that we can maintain a 6-foot distance and all these kinds of questions. And you're going to get to hear more about the kinds of questions that the COVID team is working on in 2 weeks. All right, so next week is an update from the tech side, and in 2 weeks we'll give an update from the COVID side. And our hope there is to really I guess let you in behind the scenes on what kind of work has been going on, is going on, and begin to answer some of the questions that I know many, many people have. How are we going to do this well? How is it going to be safe for me, for my family? Should I bring my kids? All those kinds of things that I know you're thinking about. We're thinking about too, and we want to bring you in on some of those thoughts. So anyway, that's where we're at. Thank you for your patience as we work through this together. I want you to know it is a joy to lead this church. I have felt your support throughout this time. Adam and Sean have felt your support throughout this time. We are so grateful for that. As we talked about last week, the opportunities for disunity abound at a time like this when there's a lot of different opinions and disagreements and, those kinds of things. But this has been a real joy to lead through as we do this. So you can look forward over the next couple weeks to a couple updates to get you some more information, and then we can look forward to meeting together, perhaps in small ways, but increasing the size over the weeks. What a day that's going to be! What a joy it's going to be together. I don't know what we should call our opening Sunday. If it's like a reemergence Sunday. The word hibernation keeps coming to my mind, like maybe it's the out of hibernation. It feels like hibernation to me. But anyway, I hope this has been helpful, And if you've got any questions, please reach out to the pastors. We'd love to answer questions that you've got and make sure everybody's got the information that they need as you're making your decision when you and your family are going to emerge from hibernation. If that's going to be in July, that'll be great to see you. If that's not going to be, until November or something like that, we're going to miss you, and we totally get it. All right. So we know that just like our church is walking at our own pace, you and your family, each family, each individual is going to have to walk at the pace God's called them to walk and enabled them to walk. But we're looking forward to being able to begin reconnecting here soon. All right. God bless y'all.